Hello. We're going to start by cutting open the canopy. I can't find my photo etch razor saws. May have to order a new set anyway because they're a bit old and dull. So I'm going to start by at least scribing the seam line a few times. Get it a bit more defined. Go. Trying to be careful on this because unfortunately this canopy is irreplaceable. Now I've said that, I'll probably shatter it live. I've done this once before, it just took a while. I'm not trying to scribe all the way through, I'm just trying to make sure the separation line is extremely well defined. Now I should be able to take the saw and follow that very carefully, very slowly. Going to kind of work all the way around. We're not trying to get through in any one spot at the moment. We're just working it and working it. Because if it does fail while we're doing this, I want it to pop along the line that we're weakening and not travel through one of the areas we're trying to not cut. Oh, you must have been watching Blade Runner 2049. How you doing, Alex? And I'm trying to keep the blade from skipping out of the groove like it did right there for a sec. Fortunately, it's not too thick, but like I said, I'm trying to keep from doing a solid gouge in. I want it to be able to slide through pretty easily when I finally start doing the final cutting. How are things for you? I kind of expect today's stream to be a little slow. Aries is currently at work. We're getting there. You can see it's starting to whiten on this side. That means we're getting pretty close to coming through in a lot of places. Which is good because it means I can start taking some slightly more aggressive cuts like that and not have to risk shattering it. But we're not there yet. If I had my little photo etch saws, I'd be more confident taking just straight cuts. Through on that corner. That's good. Almost on that one. There. Okay. So are you watching Blade Runner or something else? Can't think of any other film that had Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling in it. Go. That's what I've been doing. Just trying to just weaken the plastic enough that I can just pop it through like that. That was like butter for there. Still needs more thinning here. Almost through. No, I'm not cutting into my thumb. I'm just using it to brace the inside so it didn't flex down too much. I think we just went through all the way. Yep. Okay, now we just have to do the top. Oops. That works. Oh, yeah, one of the reasons I'm glad I'm not in the military anymore is the amount of Excel stuff that had to be done. Tracking stuff. We need you to justify your existence to us. But this is my second time successfully cutting open one of these canopies. Yay. So this kit was partially started, probably why I got it so cheap, but not in a way that I couldn't reverse what had been done. I'm going to be adding my own stuff to it, but not in the way this person seemed to be wanting to. Unfortunately, there has been a casualty. This piece is missing. But it honestly doesn't look like anything more than just a flat piece of plastic with two nubs on it for a heads-up display. Gonna dig through the box one more time, make sure I didn't overlook it. If not, we'll just use some of the sheet styrene in here to make a new one. I want to see if I have a photo etch wiper blade to put right here. There's one molded in. I might be able to scrape that off and polish the area, then put a photo etch one there. And it's even got the original pilot figure. I was never a fan of this figure. Its pose didn't make sense. It didn't feel natural. Yeah, we'll just make a new one. Everything else in there seems to be okay. Gonna try and get it close size-wise. A little bit over so I can trim it back. Just oversized enough. Let's get the clear pieces out of the way in case there's another glue accident. Wouldn't want that to happen again. And I've just been trying to take it easy again today. Just fighting headache, other stuff. Did you have a good weekend, Alex? Yeah. Should have waited for the glue to dry longer. That's okay. Got it about where I need it anyway. Throw a little more on there. I gotta remove that double-sided tape film, whatever that is. First, let's do a temp assembly. Because I believe this has nose-mounted guns. So the gun bay will be visible if you build it the right way. Yeah, there's the gun bay. Here's the nose. Goes there. Yeah, we'll be able to do something. I want to dress up these cockpit walls a bit too. It's got things that go here, but I want something on the walls. It feels a little naked. Why am I buzzing? Trying to find the missing pieces in amongst all of the stuff that's fallen off the sprues. Sprues particular to the nose. There's one of those. It's okay, Alex. I understand exactly what you're coming from. I'm fighting kind of a foul mood myself today, so you're just fine. Vent away. Yeah, I just wish it weren't so late at night for you. Well, I guess it is a good way for you to wind down, right? So, YouTube has changed its policy on monetization. I don't think you were here for one of the streams where I was discussing this. I only need 80 more subs on YouTube. It's no longer 1,000, it's only 500 now. I could have sworn I saw the other one floating around, the other little handle thing. I guess I really don't need it. Oh, here it is. Durr. This being one of my rare 2-day weekends, though, physically, I wanted to get up at like 7:30 today, but I don't set my alarm on the weekends. I just sleep till I wake up. And yeah, I wasn't out of bed till about 9 o'clock this morning. Yeah. Subbing on YouTube's free. Subbing on Twitch costs money. Yeah, a sub on YouTube is like a follow on Twitch. But if I were to go full-time like this, I'd handle it just like I did during the lockdowns. I would basically set my alarm, be up every day at 6, get up, get ready, have my breakfast, and be streaming at 8 a.m. to at least 2 p.m. Minimum 6 hours a day. Since I'm not doing it full time, I just do about 2 to 3 hours when I can, just for my own time balancing. Okay, let me make sure I can get the glass in after I glue everything together, because like I said, I want to dress the cockpit a bit better. You know, just get it a bit neater looking. So I want to dress the sidewalls here. Okay. First, lacquer thinner and an earbud. Because even with the canopy closed, these would be very visible. And now that I've got the canopy open, it's going to be even more visible. So, just trying to clean this tape or whatever that is off of there. And if I can get the glass in afterwards, that'll allow me to dress the sidewalls with the cockpit assembled and get a better feel for what's going where. Get off my finger tape. But before I glue the halves together, I need to get this in. And I need to build the front landing gear area. And this is just fighting me at every turn today. Okay, let me build the nose gear. Or the nose strut, I should say. It's not as much landing gear as it is that leg with the skid on it. That thing. There's that. Now these. Oh yeah. And it's not that if I like it or not. It's just all up. It's up here, like how I meter the day out. And right now, I got to feed the family. That's a bit more important than streaming. But if something were to happen to allow me to, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, but it's still good just to reiterate it. If something were to happen that would allow me to make that jump, I would take it. because I know I'm getting a little bit better physically now that I'm not working at the other place, because I was able to mow the yard the other day and not feel exhausted afterward. Where before I'd be so worn out that it felt like work just to do my own yard maintenance. So part of me is healing up. It just takes time. Oh, that's right. You weren't here for yesterday's stream, or Saturdays, or Fridays. Were you here Friday? I forget. Yeah, you were here Friday. Duh. Because your donation bought decals for the Defiant. Because I went looking, and HDA Modelworks, the same company that made the window mask stickers for the refit, makes a set of replacement decals for the Defiant. Because the ones that came in my copy are yellowed beyond usability. Yes, I was. That's why I made the post on the YouTube post section about how our viewer support has allowed that to happen. I try not to name names. I flipped this forward like that because this mechanism, I don't want to get glue inside when I glue it, because this has to be able to move a little bit. It's basically a little ratcheting mechanism. Let's get some more music going. There we go. Okay, so C22, C10. Okay, there they are. But I spent most of Saturday, so I wanted to start working on the damage on my car. Just age-related stuff. Small dings and dents, things like that. But the night before, the drain plug in our tub decided to physically disconnect itself. We didn't know at the time that it was the drain plug, so we spent money on a drain snake, we spent money on Drano, you know, chemicals and stuff like that, trying to clear what we thought was like a hair clog, because at first it started gradually. Then while I was down there, I moved the switch that actuates the plug and noticed there was no tension on it. So I had to spend about 2 hours trying to free up the hardware for that and pull that out of the wall. So we could drain our tub and properly clean it. You know what? We're gonna run a light, not a light, a wire to this landing light. Where's my drill bit? I need a smaller one. Okay, that repetitive motherfucker is getting kind of annoying, so we're gonna find something else. I forgot this one started out with that. There. Let's use that one. There. Alex, thank you very much for that. Every little does help. It is not expected, but it is greatly appreciated. It's already on the way. We got notice that it shipped today. Be cool if I could make this light work, but that's not my goal for this model. Okay. We'll get you glued in here. But as soon as it is here, the Defiant will be back on the bench and streamed, because I've got to finish painting it. Got to finish masking all that and getting it going. Come on, glue. Bite. Now, is it necessary to do a little detail like that? Not at all. It just adds a little something to it when you're looking at it and you see that wire coming from the back of the housing. Hey, Flight Sim. We're just going to put a little dab of super glue right at the top here. Hold it in place. Yeah. It just let go. Well, the weird thing is, if you look at the diagrams for the Defiant, right? It's roughly the same size as the saucer of the refit Enterprise, or the Enterprise A, as a lot of people like to call it. Which the Ertl model is. Yet at the same time, everybody calls that one the 1/420th scale one, making it smaller than it would be in that scale. I think it's 3/50th scale, but that's just me. It looks right. I've got it sitting right next to the refit right now, and they look, size-wise, they look right. The windows are the same size, all that stuff. So there's, yeah. But we're arguing fictional spaceships here, and it doesn't really matter at all. Okay, so that goes there. One more piece to glue on here, though. That's all you can do with anything like this, is just keep going. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, I think I've got that in the lowest position I can get it, in terms of how it sits. Because the moment I attach glue here, I won't be able to move it because it's going to seep onto the nubs on the end. But I'll live with that as I come to it. This is the Fledermaus by Nitto from the Machine and Krieger universe. as the title of the video says. Well, I know Walmart here has shelving units for sale for like 30 bucks. I can only assume Aldi has something similar there. Come on. Why are you fighting me all of a sudden? It's like it's trying to tell me something's wrong. It's like, did Timmy fall down the well, lassie? Too much glue. Now, should I do this in the matching camouflage to the one I've already done? Or do this differently? This one would make more sense as a night fighter, because it is the Fledermaus, which I believe is bat. Or flying mouse or something like that. So the naming convention would make more sense. This thing just wants to fly out of my fingers, doesn't it? Just whoop. Yeah, I gotta get the nose glued on now. I was hoping to hold off so I can get some stuff, some gubbins up in here behind, but nope. I will be able to get the glass in place afterward, though. But that lip is not consistent. So it doesn't want to allow for a good flush fit. This should be better. Or are we just cutting that lip right off? No worries. Have a good night, Alex. Thanks for visiting. I won't be on again till next Sunday. I'm doing a 5-day blow. As usual, if I can manage the time during the week, I will, but probably not. And Sunday will probably be later in the afternoon as well. Oh, that's so much better. We're going to do the other side the same way. Because Sunday I also have a car show that I'd like to go to. But that's Sunday morning. We'll see how it goes. If the weather's bad, I won't be going. Not because I don't want to take my car in it. I drive my car in all the weather. But I don't want to be standing in the crap. Okay. It's sitting in the driveway right now. It runs. Just I haven't had time to work on it because I've had to spend my time elsewhere, fixing other things that are a bit more important. That's much better fit. If somebody had a 73 or 74 Ford Falcon XB or XC, I'd trade for it. So before that glue fully sets, let me see what push rods I need for the front there. So I need these, and I need this. So this goes here, and then this gets glued right there, which will hold the alignment until everything else is glued together, because these will go from here to holes that are going to be in the fuselage. So didn't need these just yet. All right. Give me a second to have a look around for some bits and pieces. Let's get the pedals in before it gets too far. And we're going to drill some holes. These bits are extremely sharp. They cut through this plastic like butter and then pull themselves through. Like that. You gotta pop them at the end there. We must have some kind of weather moving in again. It's supposed to be nice all week, but I'm feeling otherwise. Okay, there's that. Because these go right down in here. But that really feels like a far way away. Like, you'd have to have some extremely long legs, even in 1/20th scale. Let me put this ridiculous pilot figure in here. No, he fits. I'm not going to use him, though. Trying to think of what I could do for a short tonight. The semi's finished, but it's just way too big to put on the turntable, obviously. Once I get this drilled out and installed, we're going to take our usual break time, get up, move around. I almost ordered the Machining Krieger camel last night. Almost. But I don't need to be ordering more models just yet. I got enough to work on. And there's other stuff for the car I really need. Like seats and fenders and things. Okay, this tells me it's sitting way too far back. Yeah. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that's much better now. I'll be able to get the glass in after. Excellent. Now let me see something here. Here's our weapons bay door. How do we think this opens? To the side or to the front? It's got latches on all four sides. Or on both sides, but four corners. There's one there, there, and there. Which tells me it doesn't go to the side, but does it go forward or backward? It looks like it would go like that, by all means, because you can't open it from the rear. It would hit the light. So, we'll have to figure a way to open this. That, or it could just come completely off and be laid on the ground, which is another possibility. Maybe do something, make it look like it's getting rearmed. Like I said before, it is time for our get up and move around break. So let's do that, and then we'll be back. I'm back. No, I don't think you've had an allergic reaction to the fiberglass, by the way. You probably had it get into your suit somehow, and you've actually got glass in your skin. And if you're not wearing a suit, you should be. Leave that off for the time being. Okay. Styrene strip. Let's use this stuff. Add in some ribbing on the inside of the fuselage. And then we'll probably mount in some circuit breaker panel looking things. Maybe some other subsystem buttons. We'll figure that out when we get around to it. The fun part is we've got this stupid bulge in the wall right here. And I've got to get it to conform to that. And it doesn't want to. There we go. At least it's starting to, anyway. Trying to pre-shape the plastic as much as I can before I do that again. Or at least put a bend into it that makes it think it wants to go that route. Thanks again for everybody who's watching. And we were discussing earlier how YouTube has changed their other requirements. So for monetization on there, similar to how Twitch does, it used to be 1,000 subs, now it's only 500. So if you're not subbed on YouTube, please do that. It's free. And the sooner we can get things rolling over there, the better, I think. Twitch is having a bit of a hard time lately. I mean, they've gone how many years and not drawn a profit? was hoping to get it in place better, but come on. Why is it any glue grabs when you don't want it to and never grabs when you need it to? You in here. Shows you how far off my estimation was there, but that's all right. There actually might be some stuff in here from the other person that I could use. Looks like they were trying to adapt a an F-14 cockpit to suit this. Possibly Revell, I don't know. But there's instrument panel pieces all over the place here. How much of an overlap do I need to leave? Hardly any. Awesome. So I figure we can jam this down here. Yeah. Get the double-sided tape off the back, clean it up, glue it in place. Like anything else, we're not trying to be exact to anything. We're just looking for the illusion of detail, something that looks appropriate. This thing could be a fuel display, it could be some kind of ground tracking display, who knows. You think fuel would be up here on the front because it's more important. But really we're just looking to make the cockpit look... I can't say authentic because it's not based on anything real. But just a sense of believability. Okay. I think there was another one for the other side. Nope, that's the ejector seat handles. But I might have to dig through some of my own leftover bits and source some stuff. So we'll let this dry, and while I contemplate what I want to do for that, we will work on the rest of this fuselage, get it together. Come on, get out of there. Okay. Come on. So the last time I made the Hornies, I don't know if I screwed up the instructions or what. So I need to be more careful on which ones I pick to put where, because I had to snap them off and swap them around. Did not like having to do that. There they are. Of course, spam. And I have been messaged. Oh. Don't want to lose any of that. I need to test something else out too. The instructions have me gluing the cockpit onto here first, and then assembling the top down, which butts up against here. My question is, can I cut the pegs off the cockpit and slide it in and line it up effectively? If not, then would I be able to glue it up here first? Get everything matched up and good, and then put them together. Because I could still do all the cockpit work I need to do with it assembled like that. Let me know if you got any trouble hearing me or anything. Every time OBS updates, it goes weird on me, and it did have an update on Friday. Let me do... You know what? Let me get everything else I need in down here. Wow, are we missing steps? No, we're not. Okay. I just need these. Yeah, they tried blocking off the insides like I was thinking of on the Hornies. After building that, I looked at it and I said, you know, it's really not that big an issue. I'm just going to live with it. That goes back to not building for contests, and I don't. And there was just a local club contest on Thursday, and I threw it in the ring on that just for the hell of it. Got first place. So I'm not really, you know, it's sci-fi. You can do whatever you want with it. Okay. I need this. Where's the... There they are. I'm trying to get everything ready, so no matter what it ends up being, I can just throw things together. These are already disconnected from the sprue. There's one anyway. I better have both of them. There's the other. how's everybody's weekend? Mine was actually quiet. Been trying to keep myself out of a bad headspace lately. So I hope the weather's good next week. I want to get out of the house for a little while. It was this weekend, but any extra cash I had got used up by other things, so I couldn't go out and enjoy it. This one goes here. The instructions say you're not supposed to glue these in. Where did the other one go? I'm going to. I did on the last one. I'm going to on this one. Thanks again to everyone who's watching, even if you're just lurking. Oh, wait, I didn't update Twitch. Durr. For some reason, when you use Restream, Twitch does not like to retain the categories. Here it is, almost 2 hours in, and I'm just now doing it. Wonderful. That's better. So I'm going to tape this for right now, just so I can test my ideas out. And once we find a good answer, I'll either glue it or do something different. But first you got to get it taped up well. Okay. Hey Aries, how you doing? I figured you were on your way home from work. I'm testing out a theory. So I could either go like this, but the pegs get in the way. But there's no reason I shouldn't be able to just cut the pegs off and slide that in almost as easily as that. I think that's what we'll do. There. So how was work today? Well, unfortunately, you and I aren't allowed to have the exciting government jobs anymore, are we? See, we're gonna start gluing on this bad boy here and get it ready. We're at least gonna have an assembled fuselage by the end of the day today. You just missed Alex. He was in here for a little while. But as usual, I got on too late, so he couldn't hang around too long. Sorry if I'm working out of frame. And I need to find a picture of the F-15 nose door panel latches. Because I might be scratch building something that looks remotely similar for the gun bay on this. Come on, open up. Oh. This isn't Mervin's. I shouldn't have to say open 3 times. I just dated myself really badly with that one, didn't I? Looks like our intrepid builder who had this kit before we did, though, assembled these beforehand. So is Black enjoying his retirement? Or is he still out processing? On terminal leave? Yeah. I just haven't seen Fenrir pop in here in a while, so I figured I'd ask. So now that that's taped together, while it's setting, we'll test this again. Looks like I got everything important that needed to be glued inside. I got all 3 mesh, landing gear, 2 back doors. Okay. Now I should just be able to go clip and clop and schnippity schnop. There's that. There we go. So I need to stretch for a minute, so I will be right back. We'll glue this in. Start working on other things like the bell engines and stuff. And now I'll have to look overnight, see if I can find more stuff like circuit breaker panels and things for the cockpit. Yeah, I started out the stream, Aries, by cutting the cockpit open. And it's going to open forward like that. So, I'll be right back, everybody. I'm back. And we have a visitor. Okay, let's make a different room for you here, girl. Yep. There you go. It is similar to the Hornies in that it shares this part of the fuselage, where the Hornies is a suit fitted to one of these. This has a dedicated cockpit and different weaponry. Little things. I know, not too much different, but enough to make it fun. I was thinking now, looking back, I should have made this one the Night Fighter and done the other one up differently, as this is the one named after a bat. In other news, though, the Defiant replacement decals have shipped and are on the way. Thanks again to Alex for making that possible. And others who have helped out in the stream, too. This seam has always been a pain. Skip ahead a little bit, get past that. Allie? Do you want to become one with the model, Allie? Hmm? Or you just want attention? She just wants attention. You got a gray hair right there. Hmm? You're too young to have gray hairs. Come on, over here. Come on. Over here. Come on. Over here. This space is cleared out for you, so there you go. That really? So she came over to lay on the instructions instead. Okay, this is becoming untenable, girl. You're laying on things I need now. Are we really doing this today, huh? Let me get this out from under you. And that. And that. Beep boop. Alright. We definitely need to dress that cockpit up some more. That will come at a later time. Let's make some engine bells. Oh, this jack hole did not. He did. Don't tell me I'm missing one. I might be missing an engine bell. Which will put this whole project on a quick trip to God fucking damn. Because I either got to source one or come up with something else. Here's the engine for the rear. One of the underside ones. Oh, this may have just been put on hold real fast. Seeing if I can find because this is a Saturn V engine bell from the old Revell kit, I believe. I may have found something better. Alright, found it on Thingiverse. So the project is not on hold, I'll just have to print it out. And given how that prints, I might replace all 4 of these. I want to open up the file. Or not all 4, all 5. So, depending on it, I just need to find out... I need to arrange it in a way that I can get the diameter of the bell for the height. So I just need to align it on the build plate like that, figure out which axis this is, and get the diameter of the bell, and just print it out. Size it to match and print it out. Because we're looking at 1 inch square, basically. Yeah. I may have just done something very stupid for machining Krieger. Hi, Alley girl. See, this is why it helps to know... the source of the parts on things like this. Holy shit. Okay, how many millimeters in an inch? .4. So this is just over an inch, so 26. Okay, all the more reason to drain my vat and get it figured out. Let me take a picture of this and show it to you. Just a little extra on it that I could do something with without totally ruining the look. So yeah, we're not going to worry about these little bells. We're just going to put the engine assembly together and get it ready. So I'll need these. And this, I think. See, if this was even 10 years ago, this would have been a throw the model out moment. I'm not kidding. So how has 3D printing helped the hobby? You can replace missing parts from shit. So I have this part. Got that. I mean, do I wish the kit was 100% complete? Yeah. Do I feel like I got ripped off a little? Maybe. But I'm actually able to finish it, so we're good. Allie, you're not helping right now. I know you'd like to think you are, but you're not. So these I actually won't be able to glue on because I won't have the engine. But I can get the other things on. And the engine that's needed is the one that's completely missing, because it has divots in the side of this ring here for these pieces to fit into. So I see this as beneficial. I'll be able to replace my film tonight. Do a test print of one of those, because at this height, add supports, you're looking at a 2-hour print. I can fit 5 of these on the build plate, and they're all physically the same. The ones that I need anyway. So I could have all 5 printed out in 2 hours. But I want to test print one to make sure it's the right size, and then print the other 4 to match. That way when you look at the model, I mean, I could easily throw this one together, call it good, you know, and the other 3 that are in there. So I have the 4 for the bottom, I'm missing the 1 for the rear. But if you're replacing one, replace them all, just so they all look the same. I'll have to figure out how to mount them and everything, but that's part of the fun of machining Krieger, is just kind of playing around with what you got. And I found that Saturn V engine on Thingiverse. So it was free. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're on the YouTube side, doubly so. We're trying to branch out there. Okay. So, what do you guys think? Same paint job as the Hornies? Give it that Night Fighter look, which would be more applicable, or go for something different, like something I've always done is, since this is one of the straw things, people always associate it with World War II Germany. It's not. I've always given the German stuff the Allied paint schemes, and the Allied stuff the German paint schemes, typically. But this one, I almost want to do something, I don't know, like a Focke-Wulf FW190, or, you know, something really different. But not what came in the instructions. I'm not feeling those ones. I'll show you those cards. So it comes with 2 options in the instructions. There's one that's like that, basically two different grays, kind of similar to what I've already done. Or this. I like the colors, just not how they have them. So give me some feedback over the next few days if you want. We'll decide where to go from there. Where did Allie go? There's Arnie. He's been sleeping a lot lately. Never far from me either, but he's been sleeping a lot. Next Sunday we have a Cars and Coffee in the morning. I'll most likely be going to that. Then I'll try and stream when I'm home from that. If it's raining, I'll try and be on earlier. Is this thing on? You always want a pain in the arse. And nothing, just saying you always were just a pain in the arse. I think I want to handle these before I glue these in place. But let me get the landing gear situation sorted out here. Have you tried working on anything lately? You're going to need a lot more to fix that. Sorry. Not much I can do there. Not from here, anyway. If things were different, I could take the show on the road, as it were. Ah! I know you won't have any PTO built up for a little while still. Maybe next year around this time I can take the show on the road for a couple weeks. Maybe do some tests with my phone streaming and see how a live travel log would do. Hey, Kenneth. What line broke? Hopefully not the sewer line. Eek. Come on, just click in. I shouldn't have to hold the model down like a 2-year-old to get the parts to fit. Well, Kenneth, you just missed an almost well fuck moment for this model. But fortunately, the 3D printing gods were nice, and I was able to get the files for the missing part. Not the exact missing part, but for a part that I need to replace it. Oh, God. Or I could go hyper detailed and get the fully modeled one from Cults for the Saturn V engine. No, we're not. We're not going that far. We're just gonna print out the one I found in the next couple days and call it good. I'm not gonna bite off more than I can chew right now. Allie. Okay. Okay. These will only fit one way. I'm trying to think of what I can do or what I can use to make a short tonight as well. I haven't really finished anything new, but I've got some older subjects I could make one out of. Let's get those going since I forgot to put them in, but it didn't look like it called for them either. Then again, there's been a few steps in this where the part call out has been neglected. Yeah, let me see. Because on the Hornies, these parts fit on the intakes. But the Fledermaus didn't call for them. But the notch is still there. Yeah, because this is wider. Okay, that's why. How much wider? I wonder. They almost want to go into place. Let me see something here. Okay, I got you in before, but now I can't. What is this? Back to using tweezers then. Probably took too much off, but that's alright. You won't see a lot of it. Yeah, if I can just get it to catch. Ha ha! Ha ha ha! Got it. Now just to do the other one. Okay. Music. Bump the microphone. Got it. Yeah, the instructions didn't call for it, but I felt like putting them in anyway. They seem appropriate. Of course, now I can't get this one back in. See, this is where I need to go back to the illuminated magnifying stuff. I think it's in there. It looks close enough. I'm just gonna let it dry. It is not. It is now. There. All right. Trying to install every other last bit of stuff that I can before I have to set it aside for the night. If you guys are looking for something different to try with model building, give the Machine and Krieger stuff a try. It's sci-fi, there are no rules. There is no accurate. The only time there would be accurate in this is if you're expressly trying to recreate what the original model looked like, but outside of that, sky's the limit. But if next Sunday's stream is not this model, then there's a very good chance it'll be the Defiant, as we finish up painting on that and get ready to do decals. And I knocked one of the landing feet around with all the wrestling that we were doing. Shouldn't wrestle with the model. Okay. So, I think I have gotten as far as I can. I now need to tend to my printer's problems. And I'll also be grabbing some bits and bobs out of the spares box to throw in the cockpit to dress that up a bit more. I saw there were some photo etch seat belts in here. I might reuse those. Outside that, I think we're done for the day. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks again to Alex for the donation today. And hope to see everybody on Sunday next week. I can't say if I'm going to have another stream before then, but I will try. I cannot guarantee anything though. So everybody have a good week.